Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. Mrs. Hooker here, and we are going to start diving into language arts today. So, today we are going to start our next story in language arts, which is Rachel Carson, pioneer of ecology. Now, we didn't finish Ben Franklin all of the way, but we wanted to make sure all of fourth grade could start on the same page. So we're picking up with Rachel. Now, Rachel Carson is probably a name you guys aren't super familiar with. We studied Ben Franklin, who we, knew about, and we have read books in our lit circles about Milton Hershey and William Penn. All names that are familiar to us. Rachel Carson might not be. So let's dive into Miss Rachel Carson and take a little bit of a closer look at her. So our speech bubble here says, "Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm an ecologist. I was born in 1907 in Springdale, PA. I passed away in 1964 in Silver Springs, Maryland." Now, I want you guys to closely examine this page for a minute. There's a word that pops up twice, even though it might have a different ending. So if we take a closer look at it, it is ecology or ecologist. So the story we are going to be reading today, that we're going to start, is called Rachel Carson, Pioneer of Ecology. Rachel Carson was a famous ecologist. So what I want to do is break down that word ecologist, okay? So eco means environment. And that, boys and girls, you can do with a quick Google search, okay? So eco means environment. Ologist or logist means a person who studies. So let's take a minute. Let's take those two parts, put them in our mixer and mix them up. So Rachel Carson was a person who studies the environment. So that is a good jumping off part. But when you're researching or learning about a topic, guys, that might not be familiar to you, the internet is an awesome tool. So what I did was I did a little Google search. So if I Google ecology, look at all those results that pop up. So the first thing that pops up is the definition, which is a branch of biology that deals with the relationships of organisms to one another and their physical surroundings, okay? So there's also so many pictures that pop up. So here are some that I pulled from the Google search. We have a picture of a tree, which looks like to be in a type of sphere, and it's green and it's lush. Here we have a picture of mountains. We can see a little stream running through. We have the big mountaintop and the lush greenery and the blue skies and the clouds. And here we have a picture of, our green world. So we have our world in the palm of our hands, and it looks at all these parts of keeping our environment clean. So we have we have solar power here, we have wind power, we have recycling bins, using bikes, all important parts of keeping our world clean. So let's take a closer look, my friends, at our story, which is Woman of Our Time, Rachel Carson, Pioneer of Ecology. So let's take a minute, guys, and I want you to take a look at this picture. All right, so take a minute and I want you guys to examine it. All right, so what do you notice? There's probably a lot of things that you guys could point out. We have a lot of books in the background. She has a microscope on her desk. She has, it looks like some little sea creatures in her tube here. We have a starfish on the back, okay? Now, anytime we're first looking at a book, even though you guys don't have the physical copy with you, I wanted to bring some key elements of the physical copy to our lesson today. So, an important part of any book is the back of it. The back is, I like to describe it like the trailer for a movie. Kind of gives you some good snippets, gives you a good idea of what it's about. I'm going to read it out loud, and I want you guys to follow along with me. Rachel Carson, author, scientist, conservationist. Rachel Carson was always fascinated by the ocean. As a child, she longed to see it. As a young woman, she felt torn between her love for nature and her desire to pursue a writing career. Then she found a way to combine both. Rachel had a talent for writing and talking about science in a way that everyone could understand and enjoy. With her controversial book, Silent Spring, Rachel changed the way we look at our planet. Now, that gives us a lot of information. So let's think about what are some important information we would highlight. So I want you guys to take a look at that, and in your mind, think of like 3-4 things that you think are really important in this topic. So I did that, and these are some of the important details I pulled from the paragraph. The first thing, right underneath Rachel Carson, it gives us some good character traits about her. Who was Rachel Carson, right? She's an author, she was a scientist, she was a conservationist, which is a word we'll take a look at later on, okay? She was always fascinated by the ocean, which shows us early on that she has that love for nature. She always enjoyed being at the ocean. She enjoyed examining the sea creatures she found and taking walks along the beach, okay? So she really develops that passion for the ocean early on. The next part that I took a look at, boys and girls, was the love for nature and her desire to pursue a writing career. So that, boys and girls, shows us that she's really talented. So not only is she extremely interested in nature and what's around us, she is also very into her writing, which I know many of you are. So she's kind of torn. What should I be? Should I work with nature or should I be a writer? And in our first chapter that we'll take a look at next week, we really learn about how talented Rachel was in her writing early on. So if we look at the next part, Silent Spring, I highlighted, which is the name of Rachel's book. And then I also highlighted she changed the way we look at our planet. Okay, so that shows that she makes significant changes in our world. Okay, think about this. Let's go back to this first page. She was born in 1907. That was a long time ago, guys. So she knew about the importance of nature all the way back then. Okay, so I'm not trying to age myself here, but I was born in 1990. Okay. And I remember being in elementary school and them talking about recycling. Like, not everyone recycled, and it wasn't at restaurants, it wasn't at grocery stores, recycling bins. It just wasn't a thing people really did. Okay. Rachel knew back in the early 1900s that it should be a thing that people do. We need to take care of our environment and Earth. So, think about all of this information now we're getting about Rachel, right? So when you might have started this video, you might not have had a clue who Rachel is or what ecology was or an ecologist. But now we're getting some more background information on it. I have one more thing I want to share with you guys before you start your activity for today. And it's a great video I found about Rachel Carson. So it's a cartoon for kids, and it's Who Was Rachel Carson? So we are going to view this video, and it'll give us a little bit more information about her. Oop. There it is.
And now it's time to ask the question, who in the world And here is everyone's favorite host, you know who. It's Happy Harrison!
Welcome to Who in the World? The guessing game where blindfolded contestants ask yes or no questions to try and figure out who in the world our person of mystery is. Now let's say hello to our game mascot, Mr. Owl. Ooh, ooh. Well, that's what we're here to find out. Okay, it's time to meet today's contestants. Our first contestant is from Pennsylvania, the same state as today's mystery guest. Say hello to Zeke. Just like today's mystery person, our next contestant loves to spend time by the sea. Say hello to Vicky. Let's get started by revealing who in the world we'll be talking about today. Here's a hint. She was a scientist.
Our mystery person today is the famous scientist and writer, Rachel Carson.
Now you'll each ask yes or no questions until you think you know who in the world we're talking about. Then buzz in and take a guess. Remember, as long as you get a yes response, you can ask another question. Let's start with Zeke.
Was this person a writer?
Yes, she was. She wrote many books, all about nature, a subject that our mystery person was fascinated by from the time she was a little girl.
Hey, I love nature too. I especially adore trees. Was she a scientist who mainly studied trees?
Oh, sorry, Zeke. That is a no. But here's a helpful hint. One of our mystery person's books, The Sea Around Us, was so popular it was made into a movie that people liked so much it won an Academy Award.
Let's see. She loved nature and wrote a book about the sea. Was she mainly an expert on fish?
Sorry, Vicky. That's a no. But I can tell you that in her book Silent Spring, she explained how chemicals used to kill mosquitoes were also killing lots of birds and other animals.
Silent Spring?
She called the book Silent Spring because...
Yeah, I know this. Because she wanted people to imagine what it would be like if we had no birds to sing. I shudder to think of a world without beautiful songs from lovely little birds like me.
Zeke, do you have a guess as to who in the world we're talking about?
I have her picture above my nest. I just can't remember her name. She's that scientist who thought that people needed to protect animals and plants in nature, right?
Yes, that's right, Zeke. Because of her work, an organization called the Environmental Protection Agency was created as a part of the American government to help prevent chemicals from harming nature.
Oh, I think I know.
Zeke, who in the world are we talking about?
Well, I know this. It's right on the tip of my beak. Oh, what is her name?
Oh, what is not her name? No, sorry. Vicky, who in the world are we talking about?
Is it Rachel Carson?
You guessed it!
Of course! Rachel Carson, Rachel Carson, Rachel Carson!
Don't feel bad, Zeke. I think we make a great team. I never would have gotten the answer without your help.
Really? That means we guessed who together? Who? Rachel Carson, that's who. Who? Rachel Carson, scientist and famous writer who helped make the world safe for birds like you and me. Who? You sure you're not a dodo bird?
Well, that's all the time we have for today. See you next time when we'll ask the question, who in the world?
All right, guys. So hopefully you enjoyed that little video that gave us some more information about Rachel Carson. What I want you guys to do now is in our Google Classroom, I have posted a 3, 2, 1 activity. It's kind of like a KWL chart. Now, what I'm going to ask is that you guys list 3 things you now know about Rachel Carson. So I want you to give me 3 things you now know about her. So you can rewatch this video. You can do a little research on your own. I want 3 things you know about her, okay? Make sure you give me complete sentences in capital letters and good spelling. I'm going to be on the lookout for that. After you tell me 3 things you know about her, you're going to list 2 things you want to know about her. So you still probably have some questions, okay? I want thought out, I want well-constructed sentences. And then last, I want you to tell me what's one thing you found interesting about her, okay? Now, you can go back in this video and take a look at the information that I provided. You could also do some research on your own, okay? The directions are also in the activity for you. So, good luck, and I can't wait to hear what you guys thought of, and I can't wait to explore more about Rachel Carson with you. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.